Tyrant's Realm is a roguelike with procedural generation. It offers old graphics, it actually has a setting for more pixelated graphics in the options. I actually had great fun with this one, so you have lots of different weapons, different shields, different armors, and they will all affect how you play in some way, shape or form. So the gameplay loop of this is you enter a room, which isn't always a room, it can be an area. I will say you enter an area, you have to kill the enemies inside of the area, which also you have different enemies. You've got like archers and melee and mini bosses like elites. Now this game runs great, it can definitely run on a Steam Deck, but it is not Steam Deck verified with quotation marks, but you can do it. I play this on Linux. Some of these areas will have rooms which will either increase the stats of your armor or your weapons. There will also be golden chests which you can get schematics from, you can get weapons, armor, shields, anything. So how is combat in this game? The thing that you're gonna be doing the most, and that is how you proceed. Well, it has a block mechanic, it has a dodge roll mechanic, it has a parry mechanic, which I did right here, and it kind of stuns the enemy. And sometimes when you parry, you can just straight away execute. Now different enemies will have different attacks, also different like attack speeds, which makes it really hard to predict a block or predict a parry. So it's just about learning. This game does have a lock-on mechanic which you can activate if you want. It is needed in some areas, especially when there's multiple enemies around. You can like lock on and scroll between targets. Now my armor actually has a kick kind of special ability, which you saw me do here. It's pretty cool. So once you finish a set of rooms, you'll be taken to a hub area. This is where you can refill your flask charges for healing. You only get 3 of them. You can also see your unlocks, like your weapon unlocks or armor unlocks. But most importantly, it has a merchant, and this merchant right here, you can progress the money you spend, and you have to spend it all before you go to the next room. So if something costs 1,000 but you only put 100 in, then over the next few hub areas you're gonna have to put in more money and then to get the item. So in the early game it makes sense to buy something not expensive, so you can be progressing at least and get something early game rather than having to wait till the end game. As you can see here, I didn't do that and I had no clue what I was doing. So one thing I have not mentioned yet is the biomes you can get. It's not just the same looking room after room, you can get different biomes. So there's a snow biome, there's like a river biome, there's like normal dungeon looking biomes, maze biomes, and content wise it's fully stacked here. However, the dev says right now they are going through like a bug fixing phase. In the future they will be looking at more content. They said they are not done with the game. So I chose this room and it's got like a boss in it, and as you can see the attacks are just completely different. The parry area is almost non-existent. I think I tried so hard to parry and I just couldn't do it. I think because it's a boss. Every time he hits you with your shield up, it will drain stamina, so you can't permanently do it. Luckily with this beginning boss you kind of can, because the time between attacks lets your stamina recharge. Because there is no parry, at least to my knowledge, every certain amount of attacks you just stun him anyway and you can get a few more hits in. So after the fight you will go back to a hub area, and this is where the fun starts. This is where the environments change. You can go to different biomes. I thought I would go to the snow biome as it's just a complete contrast from where I've just been. I was not disappointed. This biome looks so good, and I'm pretty sure all the biomes look amazing, but this looks perfection. To say that it's procedural is so good. So does the game get any easier now my character's leveled up? Not really leveled up, but geared up. Yeah, it kind of does, and you start to learn the mechanics more, but at the end of the day these enemies are gonna hit you for a good amount of health. Here I actually get a nice weapon. I thought, you know what, I'll try it, and instantly this switches the playstyle of what I was just doing, and it looks a bit too fast, especially because I have really like metal armor, you know. But it is a gameplay style switch, and I actually did like it. It's so fun. The left click is really fun, really fun. The right click is really hard to pull off actually. Most of the time you're gonna get hit when you right click. You'll have to find some attack window gaps where you can use the slow ability for these. So what are the downsides to this game? Now, I will say it feels like a console port. The WASD reaction is so quick, and the mouse reaction is no, it doesn't match. It does make the game feel a little cheap, and I was kind of skeptical going into it, but then you realise after doing it so many times, you appreciate it. Now the other one that I'd have to say is to do with, I guess, the locking onto enemies. So I got completely swarmed by this guy. I did not know he was there, and I'm just left clicking away to try and like hit them, and it just doesn't even recognize they exist. I don't know if it's because it was on like a vertical ramp, but this is my demise. I won't blame it on the lock-in. This guy completely caught me off guard, but it was definitely something that wasn't right. So is this game great? Is it worth the money? Well, actually it's probably worth 3 times the amount of money. They are charging this for really cheap. You can also play the demo, see for yourself, but yeah, this game is great.